Chargers to the Jets. What? Crazy. 60 mil for 1 year. Happens low. Currently sitting in traffic down in DC. Happens low. Yummy. All right, folks. We back in the lab. We back in the studio. This is the Captain's Low Podcast. I'm your host, Rob. This is home of your sports, current events, and DMV community news. I got it right, finally. That's okay, though. Special guest in here with me. Special guest. She pretty special. It's like, nah. Founder and president of everything legendary, Miss Danita Claytor. What's happening?
What's good?
Ooh.
Thank you for having me today. And this is a dope setup you have.
I appreciate that,
Yeah,
man. Listen, claps. Claps for the dope setup. It's like, nah, I'm playing. Look, first and foremost, I want to say thank you. Got me sweating in here. This is an energy drink. Put that to the side.
Why are you drinking that? You know you'll pass out.
I be tired. Sorry. First of all, I want to say thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come in here and fool with me. I know I tried to catch it originally, and when things first went crazy, but I was like, damn, you gone. So I said I catch him when I catch up. So I definitely appreciate you getting back to me. I know you've been busy, but man, how's your day? How's your week so far?
Anything for family. You know, I'm just happy to be home. You know, I always schedule everything around Journey, my daughter.
Shout out to daughter.
Yeah, shout out to her. And I'm just grounded, thankful for just God waking me up this morning.
Okay. I like that. Give it up to him.
You know, give him some praise.
I got to give it a little bit. You know, my wife is the holy roller of the house, so I let her run with it.
And that's why you are able to flourish, because she prays for you.
She do.
Okay.
She do. A bit excessive, but okay. So I know we know your journey. We're gonna get into that, but there's more so some other stuff that I want to cover. I'm not sure if that was covered in prior interviews, but I'm more so concerned about like what's going on now. What that new lifestyle, the business, best practices, things of that nature. So let's get into it. So tell me about your previous profession.
Absolutely. So for 15 years, I always tell the story of I was an educator. I went to Bowie State undergrad, and my major was actually psychology. I wanted to be a therapist. And previously, I did all the work, and for some reason, I ended up being an educator. I went straight to get my master's at Howard University, and I went straight into teaching that year. So at 21, straight out of college, I was doing my master's and I was practicing. So I was in the school system, Prince George's. Shout out to Prince George's County.
Shout out to him.
I was born in D.C., but PG County. My daddy was raised me up there. But I would say that profession definitely prepared me for everything. If you can be an educator in a classroom, you can do anything. I went on to becoming a community school coordinator, working for Department of Social Services. So I was in the community, man, putting the work in the streets, building up food pantries, giving out clothes, internet, whatever you needed to be successful in a classroom. That's what I was supplying, So all of these things are skills that help me prepare me for what I'm doing today.
Okay. And it's crazy you said that. I was actually going to ask you, did you feel like, your previous profession kind of groomed you for what you're doing now? But I mean, you kind of already answered that. It's because we see you guys doing pop-ups. You're in other states. Y'all everywhere. In the grocery store on the loudspeaker.
Everywhere.
I think that's great. So talk to me about, the whole idea. Like how did the everything legendary thing come about?
The crazy part was, I remember being in the hospital and with my mother, and she had cancer at the time, and Shark Tank came on. This is like, nobody was even thinking about this profession, this business, or anything. But my mom said, listen, y'all better get y'all pitch together, because we was already having building another business together. And she was like, get your pitch together, get the numbers together. I watched this show every Friday, and I had no clue about Shark Tank at the time. And my mom, she knew everything about it. And so for my mom to manifest literally everything that I'm doing now is just a blessing, from above, because I couldn't foresee it. But it was like she just knew. And when one day, I think I was at work, and my business partner, he was like, I guess he was going through something or whatever, issue. What I don't even know. He called me like, "Yo, I'm going through a lot. I just saw this thing come across the screen that said apply to Shark Tank." Because we had already started our business like a year prior,
Okay.
after my mother passed, and he was like, "Man, I'm about to apply." He always, anybody that knows Dwayne, they know that whatever he says, he's pretty much gonna do.
Yeah.
It wasn't far fetched. I just was like, okay. I was at work, so I wasn't even paying any attention. Then he called like, "Yo, they called me back." I'm like, "What?" But prior to that, like let's fast forward. Well, let's back up a little bit. My mother, when she had cancer, we were trying to get her to eat healthy, man. And the last thing that she had was steak, which people don't know. The last thing my mom ate, and she will always tell me that meat it takes a long time to digest. Like, you need to be careful how much meat you are intaking because it doesn't really digest. Now, I saw it in real life. Like, I saw my mom eat and then couldn't eat anymore because it had clogged her system. My mom didn't even pass from the cancer. She passed from she couldn't eat anything because it had clogged her digestive system. So it was just crazy, that now this is a real life issue and things that we're already building. When his mom had lupus for over 30 years. So his mom was like, "Look, we got to get your mom. We got a juice for her." They started juicing. They was giving her wheatgrass. They was giving her bone broth, anything and everything. But guess what? My mom was like, even when she tasted other plant-based products, she was like, the other brands, she didn't like it. She was like, "Oh, some of them had soy. Some of them, it was just like too much." And she was like, "I can't eat this." And so Dwayne and I was like, he was like, "We could make our own product." Now, when he says things, we just laugh it off because we know that a little bit low key, you're serious about it. So I did agree at the time, but he was talking to his boys actually, and they are like about their business. So they all in the group chat. They talking about it and talking about the stock market at the time. It became a unicorn stock and all of that. One of the brands, one of our competitors.
Okay.
And, we were all into it, following it. And then all of a sudden, they were like, "Look, if you're going to do it, you need to do it. Stop talking about it." And he called me up. He knew that you should be able to call at least 5 friends, right?
Yeah.
To get anything that you need in life done. So he knew who to call me. He knew to call up a chef. And everything else was all she wrote. Like, we going to put in the work. We hard worker. So we just put in the work, and here we are today.
That's good. That
Yeah.
you can call 5 friends. I never thought about that. That's true.
Yeah, you should be. My mom used to drop some
Drop the
gems.
gems.
Yes.
Yeah, Mom Dukes was cool.
She dropped the gems.
Damn. So that's what's up. All right. So now the business is rolling, but you still teaching. You still in the education. You're still in the education field. So at this point, your schedule is crazy. So just kind of walk me through. Now you're doing both, right? And just walk me through to the point where you kind of had to make a decision to where, like,
Oh, man, look, it was rough. And I'm going to tell you, like,
I remember your schedule being crazy.
A family, especially when you have a family and a kid, like, you have to make a decision whether you're going to, everybody talks about this work-life balance thing, but there's no such thing as work-life balance. Now, what it's called is making yourself a priority. Okay? It's not a balance because you just got to fit it in where you can. You get in where you fit in, for real. And whatever makes sense to you, that's your work-life balance. But there's no really such thing of like, oh, I gotta take a month off to get my mind right. You don't have time for that, especially when you're building a business. Not for entrepreneur. Now, if you're in the everyday, day to day grind of a consistent pattern where you know you won't get a check, then I mean, I can't tell you that because you got time off. So that's a whole different mindset.
Yeah.
But when you building a business and you in a grind and in the weeds of things, there's no work-life balance. And I did not understand that. And I kind of appreciate all the people that told me that before. I didn't get it then. I was like, what? Who never has time? Like, even when people would say, like, oh, my husband does this, he never has time. Or my wife, she's in a she's a fashion designer, and she's on the road, and she's doing these fashion shows all over the world. And you looking at them like they crazy. Like, you don't never make no time for your wife, or you don't never make no time for your husband. You don't have time. And it's just like, you got to get it in when you fit in. Now, what you can do, like I said, is prioritize your family. Your priorities have to be, you got to line them up. But what if something, what if something comes up with the business? What if, for example, for us, the day-to-day grind is just rough. It's a day-to-day grind of, you may, one day you might be in grocery stores. Another day you may be putting out fires. Another day you may be, we got a food truck that's used for sampling at our festivals because we got to deal with Live Nation. And so when we go to these festivals, that may be a day-to-day, like every day is different when it comes to business. So, I mean, I don't know, man. It's no such thing as like work-life balance.
I understand. And just for those who don't know, could you just go over the products that you have?
So we have plant-based burgers. We have sausages. We have we have two different types. We have a scorching. We have a spicy sausage, and then we have like a classic sausage as well. We have a cheese infused burger, and we have a classic burger. We have dragon wings, which is, we have our scorching bites, which I love the most because it has like a little spice to it. Mm-hmm. We also have the ground meat. So the ground is what we usually use for everything, because you can do our tacos, your lasagna, you can do anything you can do with ground meat, you can do with our plant-based meat, because it's soy-free and it's gluten-free. And it just tastes better, and it's, for me, I don't force anything on anyone, but I will encourage people to, if you're eating meat 7 days a week, you gotta stop that. We gotta do better. When you know better, you do better. And for some that's just getting into it, maybe it's not 7 days a week, maybe it's 2 days a week. And it's so funny because people always look at you as the person you used to be, not the person you have become. It's two totally different people. Like, I'm not even the same me that I was last year. Like, I can see the growth. Some things you're always gonna have to work on, but I mean, I'm trying to have my daughter, she knows the difference between plant-based meats and, I don't eat that. She'll say, I don't eat that. But when she goes to other people's houses, I think that's a challenge for me.
Oh, so
because they give her, what they eating. And that's why I said I don't force it on anyone, because that's kind of hard. Dwayne always talks about when he was at the lunch table, his mother had lupus, so they had kind of like a vegan diet all his whole life. He was like, man, I can't even exchange no food. People had pizza, they had lasagna, they had, sandwiches and stuff, and I had the tofurkey burger, the tofurkey, I couldn't even trade nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So outside of being able to buy your products online, you guys are in stores too. How many stores are you in? Well, how many different stores are you in?
So we're in Whole Foods, we're in Sprouts, we're in Safeway, we're in Target, we're in Kroger, we're in Publix. We are in, it's a chain of, if you go in
y'all everywhere.
Yeah.
Oof.
But some of those major brands have different stores underneath them.
Okay.
So you can just go on our store locator on our website, golegendary.com, and kind of find a store near you. And the thing about business is that one day you might be booming in the stores, and then another day, I mean, it's hard. It's a struggle. Like, you got to get people to the grocery stores. We need people to support, go to the stores. And people don't understand anything until it's gone. Like,
Yeah.
oh, dang, the rose cake ring gone, dang, what we could have done. And the thing is, we need you to do what you do for any other business. You
Support.
go and support Nike, for free, right? You go and buy Jordans for free. You pushing all these brands, but one that you know locally, you need to go push that for free.
I'm guilty of that too. I'm guilty of it. I'm trying to do better. I just, and it's not just because I just didn't. I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
So what was the first store you were in?
So our very, very first store was actually, that was a Browns Market.
What's
It's a black-owned market that been around for years. Everybody need to go support that man.
It's here?
Yes, it's in Capitol Heights, Maryland.
Okay.
And the thing about it is, I really appreciate the people who helped us when we first started. I always have to give them a shout out. People who made our logos. We had Tiffany, Darius, like they, did it at different times, but they started our logos. We had Mr. Brown. He was like, come on, he has a lot of like dietary things for dietary needs and food, and he give you an opportunity. But we also had Dog, who was next door, who had Smith's Dream Barbershop, and he was like, man, come on, y'all do y'all pop up over here. Like, we did our first pop ups over there, like after being across the street from my house, trying to do it. So that was the very first one. But then the first store that picked us up, like, it was funny because we had went to Safeway and we went to Giant. And he was doing all this stuff, trying to pitch to them. It was crazy.
Yeah, how does that work? How do you go to like a nationwide
You're not
grocery chain?
supposed. You just don't. Like, everything is going to be different for everyone. We have category managers the proper way. You have category managers who will taste your product, which is crazy anyway, because one person can determine whether you're in that store or not. So if they on a bad day, they at a breakup, you sure. Because now I'm mad, and I don't feel like tasting nothing today. So part of it is just having the best product, packaging got to be right for you to be.
It's very noticeable. I remember being in, I want to say it was Giant.
Yeah.
And it was like, we were in the frozen section. It was like a whole just frozen section of just, I say, damn, they in here deep. And I was just watching people. They was just like.
I was Safeway.
It was throwing them joints in there.
Safeway always show us love.
It might have been Safeway.
Yeah.
It might have been Safeway. Because it's the one up on Fairwood. That's the one we usually go to.
Safeway. I love Safeway. And those our peoples over there. Shout out to them. They always make sure the product there, And that's what it takes too. Like, a lot of the part about business, and people think that you could just put your product on the shelf. You gotta pay for that. Like, you gotta pay for everything. And the thing about it is that sometimes people don't even put your product out there. So that was like the whole merchandising tour. We was like going to store, making sure that stuff was in there.
I remember that.
Making sure that, like, man, you can't even find a junk. Like, how can I buy something I can't find myself? How am I be a founder of a product and a brand, and I literally go to the stores, several of them, and I don't see the product myself. So how can somebody support me? So I think that's the main issue. Like, people gotta go, they gotta speak up. We speak up about everything else. We got something to say about everything else. But when it comes to helping each other, we don't do that, and we gotta do better. I mean, but it's just the society today. Like, the world today is just terrible. We have zero patience for nothing.
We don't.
If I don't see it, oh man, I'm about to go get this real burger. You know.
So are you a vegan now?
I have switched my diet.
Full.
I have switched my diet, and so the thing was, in the beginning, like when we first started watching my mom, and I was like, we gotta do better. I would say I'm more plant-based than anything, because we eat our product all the time. Like, that's what I eat all the time, my product. I try to eat more veggies, try to get her on veggies. Like I said, when she go to other people's houses, she's it's just different. they don't make their children eat it. So she's like, why do I have to eat this? And she was doing so well with it, so it's hard as a parent, you watching your child do the right thing. And I know she's going to make her own decisions, but my thing is I love her school. I say shout out to her school because her school don't play that. Like if she was over somebody's house and they dropped her off with a Lunchable, they be like, we don't eat that here.
So they will provide the plant-based meal if
you have to bring your own.
You gotta bring it.
You have to bring your own food, but the school pretty much they help reinforce and support. And I like the community because you need those supporters, even for yourself. Like sometimes, like say if you want ice cream, I'm talking about like just regular people. Like say if you on a diet and you want ice cream and you have a craving for it, you need them people that's going to support you. Like, we ain't doing that today. And that's kind of like how it's a reinforcement for my child. It's like they know she ain't eating this. What is this? And it was so funny. I tell the story like somebody kept putting Oreo cookies in her bag every day. So her teacher kept collecting the Oreo cookies. I didn't know that at the time because Journey would just be like, Mom, I'm not supposed to have Oreo cookies. I'm like, I ain't putting no Oreo cookies in your bag. Like, somebody putting Oreo cookies in my bag. I'm like, oh, okay. So somebody kept putting them in there. And at the end of the year, she had like a whole big old thing of Oreo cookies collected. And I'm like, who is putting Oreo cookies in her bag? It's like sneaking the Oreo cookies. But I just love the fact that they support us and, reinforce like healthy eating, healthy choices. And it's not just about our products. It's about just making healthier choices, period. Your lifestyle. You got to do better. When you know better, you do better.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Look, there'd be a whole nother conversation about adjusting habits and things of that nature. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
So all right. So now you have left the education field
Fully.
and now
which is so dreadful.
Yeah.
Because think about it. When you feel like you've reached, you're doing what you were put on earth to do. Like I'm talking about empowering kids. Some of my kids are grown now with children, and it's just like, wow, that was me. That's me. The way she walked, the way she looked, the way she carried herself, that's me. And to see them birth their own children is just amazing. It's like intrinsic motivation for me. And so now it's a little bit different because I asked for this. I said, I know God has something bigger for me. And I always say my dreams are bigger than me. I know my purpose is bigger than me. I know that what I'm doing is going to be a stepping stone. You will always say that, right? And then you say, to me, I will always say to my mother, I just want to travel the world and create a life that I don't have to vacation from. What am I doing? The same thing that I said on a bigger level, though. Now you're empowering people nationwide. You meeting people from all over the world. And even though we're not internationally yet, we still meet people who have come from, other countries and be like, I love this. Like, when are we going to get this? Somebody just asked us, when are we going to get this in England? And those are some of the bigger goals that I have. It's like, when are we going to step outside of just this?
See, you skipping questions. You
can't
all over the place. No, I get it though. I get it though.
I'm just saying, but I just can't believe that I'm out of education. It's really, really hard, but you never really get out of it because even though I was removed, I still was checking on my babies all the time.
And they'll never forget you. You know, when you, I even have like teachers that I remember from high school and.
I still check on them now.
You never forget them. So.
They going to prom. Shout out to my class of 2023.
Ooh.
And I got one more class that I really had them since 6th grade after them. So 23, 24. They're my last two classes. And I was done anyway, My baby's 11th and 12th grade.
15 years, huh? Mm-hmm. I salute you for that.
Thank you.
So you mentioned lifestyle. So now you in this.
I'm in it.
You fully in it now. Talk to me about like adjusting to, essentially your new way of living.
It's hard. It's hard. Um, how can I say this? Or maybe I shouldn't say some things. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave that alone. I just say like it's hard. It's hard starting a whole new life, but it's worth it. It's worth starting over because again, people can't see you for when you've been doing something over and over and over, trying to get a different result, which is insanity, which they tell you that's insanity. But everyone does it. We do this every day where we're doing the same exact thing over and over. You're not going to get a different result. You have to disrupt, which is what we did. It's like disrupted the market. We disrupted the market with our packaging. We disrupted the market with our plan. Just doing things out of the norm. And I'm a person like that. Like I've always been that way since I can remember. Even back to riding motorcycles and jumping out of planes, and my goals was always bigger than everyone else's goal. And I'm not saying I'm better than anyone. I just
No, you
always
just dream bigger.
But you know what? I got that from my parents. Shout out to my parents. My parents exposed me to things like I'm exposed in Journey. Like people, I travel with Journey all the time. And my purpose, my sole purpose is so that she can have the exposure. Like when people are talking about drumming, she's like, oh, yeah, they do that in Africa. Like she knows where
Wow.
things come from. She can tell you about animals and she can tell you about so many things. And sometimes it amazes me when she says certain things because I'm like, how do you know this? And it's literally from
Kids are
her
smart,
traveling
man.
all over the world. And my daughter just turned 5. She only 5 doing fractions and reading. Like what?
Kids are smart now,
Yeah.
man. The sky's the limit for them. Them being exposed to this new type of technology. Like I watch Harley now. Though Grand Harley is 7, but even when she was 5, I used to watch her dissect the iPad, putting passwords in, searching for movies, and playing the games.
Yeah.
You know, Tetris and all this other stuff. Like really, really thinking. And I'm like, damn boy. And I was like, all I was outside doing was playing in damn dirt.
Exactly.
And they're really doing their thing now, man. So I think the future is in good hands, as long as we can just ease up off the social media.
I
But
know.
it's a double-edged sword, man.
Yeah,
You
it's
want them you
hard.
want them to be advanced, but it's going to come with some costs, some consequences. So this is not a traditional 9 to 5. This is a like
This is
this like just
24/7.
to just walk me through a typical day, a
So
typical work day.
I thought I was busy before. I really thought that people didn't realize I was working 2 jobs. So I would typically get up early in the morning and I'm gone to like 11, 12 a.m. Who does that? 16, 18-hour days. Who does that? I'm just saying, like, that's a long day. So now my day to day is like still, my mind is still set on that. I get up 5:30 in the morning every day. 5:30, 6 o'clock. And it's really true when they say the early bird get the worm. Like, every millionaire, billionaire, they up early. They up early. You can't be sleeping in and all of that because people are on different parts of the world too. So like we may start early over here. Cali, they 3 hours behind. You may have another time zone. Some time zone they be 12-hour difference. So like they be hitting us up. It be 2 in the morning. Like what? You hit me up at 2 in the morning? Like it just never stops. And I didn't realize it. I don't think you're gonna ever realize anything until you fully in it. Even like dealing with like my parents' death. Like when I saw other people parents pass, you want to support people. I'm sorry, but people don't really understand. I'm dealing with all of that. It's this when I say a lifestyle change, I'm talking about the deaths of my parents, not being there and raising a kid, and my day to day, and not being around my students. That's a lot. So it's like my day to day is waking up 5:30 in the morning. There may be emails. Um, Dwayne got this virtual every morning. He talking to Vince. They going over stuff 9 in the morning. So first call might be at 10, but we gotta go to a store. We gotta go. You gotta catch the meat managers early in the morning. So in between there, I done probably got up at like 8 to go to a store. And I probably hit about 3-4 stores with Dwayne in the morning. We catching the meat managers to, just see what's going on. Again, sometimes the product don't be on the shelf. So think about all the stores we're in. We got to divide that up and just hit as many as we can.
So are you pretty much going to the store to make sure my shit is on the shelf type of deal? Or
Nah, just, make sure that it's there, period.
okay.
It ain't telling them make
So
sure.
is this like,
I
okay,
need to see it. It's almost like a merchandise. Like we pay somebody to do that, but 9 times out of 10, you still got to do the shit on your own. Regardless, if you pay people to do it, you still got to show up. That's just what it is.
Okay.
Because if you think that somebody else is going to do it, you tripping.
Yeah, you can't just as much as you want to sit back and say, well, we got all these people, so they got it. No, you always got to check behind.
You do have to check behind, and I think a lot of people now you do have to get to a point where people are doing their own job, but you still have to check in and see what's going on.
Okay, so it's a team of y'all. So I know you have multiple founders, correct?
Yes.
And then you have your team. Like, how did you build your team?
Whew. Man, like I said, you gotta start with who you know, and who is good at what they would. And if they not good, who can you trust? Because that's the main part. Because they could be good at their job, but can you trust them? Like all of these things that you would want in a relationship is the same thing you would want in a business.
Okay.
You need honesty. You need somebody to be trustworthy. You need hard work, dedication. You need people to show up. I need you to show up. When you don't even feel good, I need you to push through. But I also need you to be compassionate and show grace. So it's like you need all of these things, and that is a part of building the perfect team. Is like that perfect storm. Who you taking to the playoffs with you? What's your team?
Hey, look, you ain't gonna keep dropping it. You
saying.
dropping a lot of gems. All right, you dropping the gems.
Who you pulling off the off the bench?
I understand what you're saying. I understand.
Who gonna be in the lineup for real?
You right.
Who's starting? Who's starting? That's who I'm rolling with, and that's how you pick your team. Who would you go into war with? It'll make you laugh because you like, not him. Nah.
That is, it do make you think. It do. I'm actually building a small team. It's small right now. I have my creative advisor.
The main thing is dedication. Like they have to be dedicated.
Yeah.
They have to be able to think, man.
Well, I trust me. I took my sweet time with that because, as you can see, I'm by myself right now. I'm by myself, but I'm not. But still,
This don't lit.
So it is, but the days be hard, man. We can get into it at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, it do be hard though. But so now, at your level of success, I always say this. I have this theory that like you don't really need that much money to be happy, right? So without being in your pockets, I'm assuming you making more money than what you was making prior to that. Do you feel like life is overall better with more money, or do you feel like it's the same regardless of how much money you making? Is it the same because you're still doing what you love?
It's more money, more problems.
Talk to me.
More money, more problems, and it's like the higher you go, the bigger the battles. The more fires you're gonna have to put out. It's great though. It's not a bad thing. You learn every level is just going to be different. It's going to take more dedication, more hard work, consistency. But I wouldn't say that one is better than the other. Now, people say they don't need money. Money make you comfortable. You need money to pay your bills. But money isn't everything. Like, tell me some things that you have that don't have to be, don't deal with money. For me, I have my family, and that is the most important part. Like what I can do with my family and for my family. We need money to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say, money isn't everything, but it keep you comfortable.
Okay. I like that. All right. So let's talk best practices. What advice would you give someone else who is thinking of going on a business endeavor?
Man, get the right starters. Like who you playing in the game with? Who gonna win the game? Just think about it like that. Because you have to have the right people, the right key players to make that thing go. And I'm talking about like you need people that's gonna have your back, who's going to they have to have some type of knowledge and expertise of what they're doing. And I mean, you got some people that know how to fake it till they make it. I love them people too because they just know it's ingenuity. They just know how to get it done. They make a way out of no way. So you need them people too, but you also need the people that actually are experts in that business. But we all learning. You only have to know everything. Just know that like you just gotta start. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
You gotta start somewhere, but you do have to think it out. But I talk about this all the time because I'm a woman and I have males around me. There is a big difference. There's a big difference in terms of we like to plan. And I say me, I like to plan, and other women around me like to plan. We like to plan things out. But the men say, y'all gonna plan yourself out of everything. Because you'll plan so much that you don't even get it done. Now they will just jump.
We usually shoot from the hip, figure it out.
Yeah, they're gonna figure it out. And I realized like it's just a difference. And like once you have your men and women, when y'all can meet in the middle though, dynamic team. Y'all gotta be able to understand. You gotta know when to be quiet, but you also gotta know when to stand your ground. Because there are some things that you just non-negotiables. I used to say this to my students. What's the non-negotiables? You always gotta go over the rules. You gotta lay the lane and let them know like these are non-negotiables. These are things that we cannot stray away from. Now there are some things that we can negotiate on, and that's where you gotta meet your teammates in the middle. But you have to hear them out. You have to work together. But you need a great team. I'll just say that, and just do it, y'all.
Okay.
Just do it.
Great advice.
I ain't
Just
trying
do
to
it.
steal wait, you probably need to scratch that because I ain't trying to steal nothing from Nike. All right.
Man, look, just do it. Don't nobody own this but me. So my last question for you is, what's next? What's next for you? What's next for the company? What's next for you personally?
Me, I'm just trying to focus on hitting more stores, more grocery store doors. I think that's the number one. And just getting more people involved. Getting more people involved. For some reason, people do not pay attention. They don't read. They don't do anything. Now, there are a
Short
lot.
attention span.
Yeah, but the ones that do, I love them. They're great supporters. I think that once you try it, you're never going to stray away from it. And that is what I'm trying to do, is just trying to get it into more hands, I need people to come out. We have a food truck up at Tanger Outlet in, what is that, Fort Washington?
The harbor.
At the harbor. They need to get there.
Oh, it's permanently there?
So we have a food truck there. So people need to come out and support, just come try the product. We're also at Black and Forth on the 2nd and 4th Sundays. Black and Forth is an amazing business by The Angel. And they have like the Spice Suite and other different businesses over there. So I love it. It's a black market. I love it. I love the concept. I love the people, everything. So that's a great space for us. And we, like I said, they can go to the grocery store. We need them to go to the grocery store and buy. Go support.
I like that. I like it. Well, listen, I appreciate everything you all the gems you dropped. You have any questions for me?
I do.
Uh-oh.
What's next for you?
Honestly, getting out in the streets.
Okay.
I think I've been in here too long. This next.
Yeah, what you thinking about? Where the people at?
Hey, that's what I'm saying. So
You got to go touch the people. Why do people think that they don't have to go out into the community?
I didn't think that, but I just know that I knew enough people that I can get them in.
You need more people.
But I wasn't really ready to address how to get people that I don't know. So I started attending other podcast events. I went to one in the harbor at Tom's Watch Bar. Shout out to the TD podcast.
What you learn?
Honestly, so just me being perfectly honest. When I go to a podcast event, the first thing I'm looking at is your setup.
Yeah.
I am a stickler for production.
And this is lit. How you learn how to do this?
YouTube, trial and error.
See, you dropping gems right here.
I just
don't you figure it out as you go along?
Hell yeah.
That's the number one thing.
This whole thing started because, stressed out at work, and Lila was like, where's the podcast? So I just went on Amazon, bought me a little kit, used it, realized it was the wrong one, then just slowly started trickling. Well, I bought condenser mics. Condenser mics are more so when you see people in the studio rapping, making songs, but the room is padded and all this. This is for, we could be sitting out on the deck, and you're still only going to hear this. You're not going to hear anything in the background.
I love it.
So that's what you need. But, the topics, really figuring out, what do I talk about? What's my market? Of course, it started from the Instagram stories, the captain's logs in the morning. So coming up with the name was easy, and I built my community off of that. So I'm building a community. I don't want followers. I want a community. I always say that. So I try to post a lot, but now going out to events, even everything. I try to go out to stuff, try to record. I'm building up to interviewing people out on the spot. That's going to take me some time to just kind of get out there and do that, because sometimes might be like, man, what the
Yeah.
So, but honestly, I would like to by next year be in some type of monetization, whether that's sponsors, paid ads, or talking, somebody offering me something to speak. I would definitely like to do that. So this will be 3 years, 0.
Shout out to you.
Thank you. Shout out to me.
Shout out to you. Woo!
So I have been doing this 3 years strong. I've seen a lot of podcasters come in and go, and I always try to be like any other podcaster would tell you. Like, I've always, hey man, you should try this. What if you need help, I always offer my assistance, because I know at the end, it's gonna benefit me. Or if I have something, those folks are gonna show up and support. And if not, I'm gonna build. I'm gonna find new folks. So I think really getting out on the streets is what's gonna do it for me. And just keep pushing the brand. I mean, yeah, I'd love to get people in here, but if I can't, I might have to pack this up and come to you.
You have to come to them.
Yeah, and if
mobile, you need to go mobile podcast.
Go mobile. I thought about that too. Going mobile, setting up. All of this can be put in a bag. So I thought about that, and I mean, if things don't work out, maybe a year or two from now, I would get it. I would just go to the production side, where I would be providing this service and generating and putting it out for you. So,
that's dope.
Yeah, I actually had considered doing that now, but it's a time thing, And it's not that I can't.
And you got to be available.
Yeah, so it's like my thing is, just like you said, balance. My balance was off for the longest. So the problem with me is I don't have a traditional time when I record. Back when it was two of us, we would meet up Monday, 7:00, and then sometimes something will happen where it's like, damn, I need to record now. To now, like if I'm home teleworking, I might be dropping something in the middle of the day, or I'm recording now. I just recorded Monday, and then here it is Wednesday, I'm recording. So I don't really have a traditional time that I do it, which is kind of why I'm by myself now. Some things can't wait until next week. Exactly. Some things got to have reactions, So there's so many ways to win social media, like, trying to figure out YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, Discord, that YouTube is essentially where you want.
Have you ever tried fan base?
I do have a fan base account. I created one when they said they were gonna shut TikTok down, but they're trying to they're taking forever to transfer my stuff. So
fan base.
Yeah. They said it take a while. So I do have a fan base. I ain't been on it in a couple weeks, but I will check it.
Shout out to them, man.
Yeah. But definitely, man, just want to continue to bring good people in here, and let people tell their story. Try to pull up and support them. I will admit, we have had a lot of guests on here, and I have not been to patron in any of their
I
establishments.
need you to. You gotta do better.
I'm really, really sorry about that. But
It ain't no but.
between doing this, like my kids is
You make time
active.
for whatever you want.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever you want to do, you make time for, right?
You're right.
Yeah.
You're
So
right.
make time to support.
Yeah. So I'm working on balance. I know it'll never be where I want it to, but just to see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
It's every time I think, man, my shit ain't really hitting. Something happens and it kind of brings me back.
I call them little sprinkles of hope. My mother used to always say, like, God always lets you know, like, right when you're ready to give up, you get this little piece of hope. You be like, oh, I'm doing the right thing, and you do something different.
Yeah.
Like I done seen you pivot a couple times because this ain't look like this.
No.
Initially,
it was in the other room, and then it was in here. Then it was a different table. It was different microphones. It was one. It was
setup,
two GoPros. It was an old Canon, and now it's 3 Sonys. I got like 4 of these mics, 2 lights. I mean, I could. There's a lot I could do, but I think I have enough to do what I could do because at one point that's all I cared about the tech. And then that was interfering with actually putting out the product. And the crazy thing is, I can go out here and screenshot, John Morant or something, and just do a green screen of me talking, and it'll go up higher than me sitting in here editing for days. You know what I mean? So sometimes the only person who really, really cares about all of this stuff is the person who's actually doing it.
Yeah. So shout out to those people.
Yeah, shout out to them. The people who care about the production. And I'm not knocking anybody who don't put in the production. I just think you just haven't.
Just shout out to them for putting in the work. That's
you just for the people who haven't done it, you just not there yet. That's all it is.
And the thing is, it's no right or wrong way.
No, it's not.
That's the thing. You can do it. You can do the very same thing that somebody else did. It won't work for you. Mm-hmm. What works for you won't work for someone else.
You're right.
And just like my journey, what's for me is for me. It's not going to be the same. So that's why you always ask about the interviews and stuff. They're always different because, again, I tell people you have to do what's best for you. Don't jump off the deep end because when we started, like he was able to float and do all these things. I was working. Mm-hmm. I had to stay at work because you got to bring in some money. People be just quitting their jobs and stuff like that. Don't commit suicide. Me,
and that's why I asked you that, because I was just like, I feel it. I feel that, down the road, if this turns into something,
when it's time.
And it's like, I would legitimately say, look, I'm gonna holler at y'all.
Yeah, but you gotta know when it's time.
When it's time. No. I wouldn't
do
it just based off of nothing. Like, but if
time.
I'm getting to a point where this is interfering with my job and
that's the point.
and the money is about the same type of deal, I mean, like, well, look, I'm gonna go ahead and roll. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just, retirement and all that is cool, but at this point, coming up on 40 years old, like I'm in the stage now where I want to do like what I love. My job is cool.
Yeah.
I don't love it though.
But you need your lifestyle. You have a family. So you got to think about those things. And that's what I mean. Like, it's no real balance, but you just got to fit it in until it's time. So you got to set up to the way you can just roll out. Until then, you gotta keep working. Mm-hmm. That's just what it is. I tell everybody that the people fight me all the time. Like, you just gotta do it. Nah, that's why you gotta have a team. You have a team because somebody on that team is gonna be able to do that and float. But then you don't want to put all the pressure on your team either. So you gotta make a decision. Like, you'll know when it's time. You'll know when you just can't make any more room for nothing else.
Yeah.
And that's when it was time.
And that's what I'm dealing with now. It's like, I would love to outsource my editing and all my social media and all that, but it's like,
you gotta try it out though. Try it out on your free time. Yeah. Like I told you, you make time for whatever you want. Try it out on the weekends. See how that work for you. It may not work, and then you might be like,
No, I'm talking about like outsourcing someone to do this. Someone to do this.
Working for you.
So all I got to do is just get in here and talk, and then say, okay, it's done.
Oh, absolutely. You ain't ever think about an intern?
No. I'm thinking about a virtual assistant though.
Yeah, but they have those. You need to reach out to some of these colleges. It's some college students that are doing amazing things. Like, a lot of the students, when we do we have a college tour too. I forgot to mention, we have a college tour where we have a partnership with like Rap Snacks and We do our college tour where all of these students come out and we give them burgers, we give them wrap snacks, we give them the cookies, and they love it, And they're doing amazing things. We check in with them, ask them what they doing in college. They help us out. We see some of their editing skills. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's gonna be my
Intern.
next move.
Try to intern.
I'm gonna get that information from you.
I don't even gotta look at Partake cookies.
Partake cookies.
Yes, gotta look them up.
We're gonna put the social
terrible.
media on there for them. We're gonna give them that good shout out.
Wrap snacks.
And wrap snacks.
Yep.
So let the people know where they can find you, your social media handles, all that good stuff.
Oh, y'all can find us at go_legendary. GoLegendary.com, go_legendary, and GoLegendary.com. Click on the store located, find the nearest store near you. And you can also order online. We do have an online store where you can get burgers as well. If you're in a different place where you can't find a store near you, you can always order the product online. So go get it, go support. I appreciate y'all for having me today. Thank you, Boogie. Wait,
Always.
I'm sorry. What's your captain's
It
log?
don't matter. Look, I go by many names. Middle name is dangerous.
Oh my goodness.
But we good for the night, man. I'm gonna dress this up and we're gonna put it out, and everybody's gonna love it. Good night, Captain.
Good night.
Out.